Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for coming to our Center of Influence class. I'm going to introduce 210 Dave right now to you so he can tell you about 210 Home Warranty.
Good morning, everybody. It's 210 Dave with 210 Home Buyers Warranty. Happy to be here this morning. Want to speak to the agents about our 210 Home Buyers Warranty. If you're not familiar with 210, we've been around for 41 years. All we do is home warranty, so we do it well. I want to talk about just three things in the warranty. I don't want to, product dump on you with all the features and stuff. We have a robust coverage, and if you pick up a service agreement or ask for one, I'll send it to you. But three things really. We have the most comprehensive HVAC coverage in the industry. That's very important here in the Valley of the Sun. We have no dollar limits, no age limits, unlimited refrigerant replacement, SEER matching. We cover the crane costs, disposal fees, haul away fees. You're covered with your HVAC coverage with 210 Home Buyers Warranty. Second thing I wanted to point out is our Happy Home Lock and Hardware program, where you can give your buyer the gift of up to $100 back when they rekey or purchase new hardware for their front door. Even smart locks are acceptable. All they have to do is send a receipt in, and we'll send them up to $100 back. I have a customizable gift certificate that you can give them at close of escrow. It's also a great way to keep in touch with them after the close of escrow and make sure that they're taking advantage of the program. So good way to stay in touch and get referrals. The third thing is our complimentary seller coverage. It's truly complimentary. It's not tied to the buyer's agent purchasing a warranty through us, but it will cover your seller through the escrow period up to 180 days or 6 months. In this crazy market, I know you don't need 6 months coverage, but it'll also help you if you're working with a buyer and you want to get your offer accepted. Use the complimentary seller coverage as a tool to do that. In your offer, offer your best terms and price, and then say, hey, we'll also place a home warranty on your property during the listing period. And if anything happens during the listing period, you can place a claim. We'll come out there and see if it's covered. It's about $19,500 worth of complimentary coverage, so check it out. Again, 210 Dave with 210 Home Buyers Warranty. Have a great day, everyone.
Thank you, Dave. Thank you so much, Dave, for coming in to sponsor us. Thank you, Dave. All right. Well, I'm excited to be here today to talk to you guys about building relationships. And I'm just going to make a quick little shameless plug for a book that I'm reading real quick, because sometimes when you take a class like that, you're like, well, how would I have the time to do this? If you want to get a better use of your time and your day, this is an amazing book that I'm reading right now. It's called The Miracle Morning. And wow, if you want to become more productive in life and have time to do the center of influence that we're talking about, this book will really help you get to that place in life. All right, great. Well, we're going to get started here with building relationships, keys to building them to keep you top of mind. The important point about this is that you want to be able to have your clients think of you whenever they think of buying or selling a house. All right, so why is this concept important? How to identify which business relationships are important to build and grow, how to grow them, how often to contact them and how to add them to your list, and where to store your database. These are all objectives that we're going to cover today. All right, so why is this concept so important? 19% of the buyers want to connect with a salesperson during the awareness phase of the buying process, when they have first learned about going out to buy a house. 60% want to connect with a salesperson during the consideration stage, after they've researched the options and come up with a short list of homes that they like. Why is this concept so important? Because you need to realize that people are reaching out to you during all different phases, and now you can recognize what phase they're in. 20% want to talk during the decision phase, once they've already decided to buy a product, which is my favorite, when they call me and say, hey, Georgie, I found this house I love. Can you take me over there and write an offer? It takes an average. This is where you have to learn persistence and patience. It takes an average of 18 calls to actually connect with the buyer. 84% of buyers now kick off their buying process with a referral 92% of buyers trust referrals that come from somebody they know. So after a positive experience, they say 83% of customers would be happy to provide a referral. But salespeople just don't ask in general. Just 29% of customers end up giving a referral because they're just not asked. So you need to build relationships and keep in contact with your clients. I'm sure you've all sold a house and realized years later that you have never spoken to your client. Hopefully you can incorporate this in your business, and then that will never happen to you again. And it's not going to happen on accident. This is a very deliberate process that you have to constantly nurture and work on in order to have it be useful. How to identify which relationships are important to grow. First, you make a list of everyone you know. Don't write them down unless you have an email or a phone number, or you can get it. Make sure and use a memory jogger. Here's an example of a great memory jogger to remind you of your friends from college, who you buy jewelry from, who you have your laundry done by, your accountant, from your kids' soccer teams. There's so many different places, and a memory jogger like this, if you will take out your list, is a great place to help you remember who you can add to your database. Should they be in your center of influence? This is a super important question. You need to speak with each of these people and ask them a few questions. Ask them, do you have someone you use or would refer for buying or selling a house? Or were you looking to buy or sell? Who would you call? If not, would you consider calling me? So if you do, if they have someone and they say they do, say, would you consider using me as your plan B? If you've never called before and you're not sure what to do, here's a script. Hello. Hi, it's Georgie. I don't know if I've told you, but I'm selling real estate now. If you were looking to sell a house, would you use me? I want to keep in contact with you in a meaningful way so that when you come across someone that might need my services, you'll feel comfortable and confident to refer me. Okay, so now they said yes. They said, yes, please put me in your database. That would be great, which you would be surprised when you are asking friends and family and people you do work with, how many of them are very happy to have you add them to the database. Whenever I ask for people for their names and date of birth, I can see they're excited to send me the information. I'm assuming they think they're going to get contacted from me in the future. So you could ask them pets' names, a phone number. If they won't give you your phone number, they cannot be an A or a B for you. You definitely need their email address, social media information, so you can become their friend on Facebook and Instagram and LinkedIn. You definitely want to collect birthdays. I believe birthday phone calls is one of the most important things that Chuck and Angela taught me when they first taught me this class. Definitely set up reoccurring reminders for birthdays and anniversaries in your Center of Influence database or your phone. Which type of anniversary should you acknowledge? Everybody gets to do whatever their style is. I do the anniversary of the house. I don't often do wedding anniversaries, but people can do anything they want. Any great reason you have to reach out to your client. So based on these conversations, you will group everybody into two lists. A's are people that have used you in the past or have committed that they would use you. You would be the only one that they would refer. They know you well and you know them. There are a lot of people in your life that you have this level of a relationship with. Spending time thinking and meditating on this will help you remember people that you should put in there. Then you have another group, your B's. And those are people who haven't used you before, and they have said that you would be their plan B. And don't give up on being a plan B. I recently had a vendor that I had been on her plan B list for 10 years, and the relationship with one of my vendors fell apart. And I reached out to her, and I've been working with her for a year now. And I was on her plan B for 10 years, and she kept in constant contact with me. Definitely what this whole plan is trying to emphasize that it can do for you. How often to connect and how. You should be calling or reaching out to your A's at least 12 times a year. You should be corresponding with them by newsletters, marketing pieces, phone call, Facebook posts. There's you can remind them to get their AC serviced in May. There's lots of reasons you can reach out to your center of influence to serve them, not asking them to send you business. You should be calling your bees or reaching out to your bees at least 6 to 9 times a year and correspond them in the same ways, as many different mediums as you can to come up with them. If you're not able to reach these groups on the phone, you can let them know why you were calling or that you were thinking of them. You can just leave them a very friendly message. Hey, David, I was just thinking of you today and wanted to leave you a voicemail. I hope you're having a great day. Glad to hear your kids are back in school. I hope that makes your job easier. And then just hang up. Everybody's encouraged with an encouraging phone call or message left for them. So here are your goals. You have to have a plan and goals when you're contacting your center of influence. The most important goal is building a relationship. Real estate is a relationship business, not a real estate business. So as soon as you make it a relationship business, you will be much, much busier. Build their confidence in you. Don't come to your clients constantly asking them to give you business when you're not serving them in any way. So do things to help build their confidence in you. Condition them to use you or refer you. Stay in touch with them. Make sure that if they need any services, if they need a painter, if they need a pest control guy, that you are their girl or you are their person. That is how you condition them to use you and refer to you. Condition them to consider you a valuable resource. And you do that by being a valuable resource. Phone calls. So one of the things that Chuck and Angela taught me that really changed my life more than anything was phone calls, was making a phone call to all my friends and family and everybody in my center of influence on their birthday. I reached out to a friend last year on her birthday about 3 p.m, and she told me I was the first phone call that she had received that day to tell her happy birthday. And it was a great phone call, and she ended up inviting me over for a glass of wine, and we've connected 4 or 5 times since then. So don't underestimate the power of calling people on their birthdays. Practical calls, anything that adds value. Like I talked to you about, maybe in April or May, you can reach out to people and remind them that's a great time to service their AC to be prepared for the summer. You can send them spring cleaning tips. There's plenty of things that you can offer of value as practical calls. You can call on holidays, especially if they're really into St. Patrick's Day or Cinco de Mayo or any day that's their favorite. Great time to reach out to them with a card or phone call. Business calls, we'll send you some scripts so you can work on these business calls. We'll show them to you in a few more slides. Personal, you are calling to see like how their vacation was or something on Facebook. Maybe you saw their daughter got married. Often on Facebook and Instagram, you find great reasons to reach out and encourage and speak to your clients. What do I say on a business call? When you call your sphere, you're asking them for business. Are they looking to buy or sell? And who do they know that may be looking to buy or sell? Be specific with people to help them think clearly about who they might know that they can refer you to. Everybody has neighbors. Their kids are in sports. They have sports clubs. They have church groups, Toastmasters. There's all different reasons. You may consider announcing that it's a business call. Sometimes everybody's got a different comfort level. Many people are more comfortable starting out the call with business and then getting personal. Sometimes it's a little more complicated to be gabbing for a few minutes and then towards the end of the call, remind them it's about business. So a lot of times you could start by saying, hey, Lee, this is a business call. I'm just seeing how you're doing, checking in to see if everything's okay. I wanted to remind you it's a good time of year to get your AC serviced. I have a couple of great AC guys if you guys aren't already working with somebody. And just remember, if you know of anybody that wants to buy or sell a house, make sure and give them my name or number. Don't just call to get a referral. Always give or offer value. If your phone calls are nothing but calling them and asking them to send you business every time you speak to them, in my experience, they will just avoid your phone call or they won't take time to take it anymore. If you give them value and you offer them value, they will always answer your phone call because they know it's Georgie calling and she's probably providing something that they want. So here is a script for a business call. Hi, this is Georgie. This is a business call. Do you have a minute? Who do you know who is looking to buy or sell a house? Can you think of anyone in your church group, family, neighborhood that may need my services at this time? Would you mind if I gave them a call? So if they say, yeah, my friend Dave is getting ready to buy or sell a house. Okay, great. Would you mind if I gave them a call? I find that much more productive than trying to say, can you give them my name and number? This way you know that you will be there to follow up with them. And when you make any type of call, get to the purpose first. I just find it so much easier to start out with it. So here is a voicemail script that someone can use. Hi, it's Georgie. I'm so sorry I missed you. I was calling you to see how you were on your anniversary with your house. I know you are busy. You can call me back if you have a chance. My number is 480-695-6565. Make sure and say it twice and say it slowly. I can't tell you how often I get an important phone call and they say their number too quick and they only say it once and I'm not able to call them back. This is the most important part of the message. But I understand if you can't get back with me, I'll give you a call back around this time tomorrow. That's the most important part of leaving a voicemail message is the way you end it and how obligated you make the person you left the message for. So if you leave a message saying, hi, Dave, this is Georgie, call me back. If he doesn't call you back, there's always going to be this uncomfortableness next time he sees your caller ID or next time you call him. I know sometimes I'll go to text somebody and I'll see that I didn't respond to their last text. And so I'm starting out with, oh, so sorry I missed that text message. The same here. You don't want to make them uncomfortable that they're not calling you back. And you completely get rid of that by not asking them to call you back or tell you, hey, if you get a chance, call me. If not, no problem. I will call you back. If you will include that sentence, it removes all of the uncomfortableness when they don't call you back and you call back again. So emails. Emails another way. It's funny. It goes in and out, and it really depends on the person with emails. Some people stay on top of their emails. Boy, if they're older, they are probably on top of their emails. If they're 20 years old, they may or may not pay attention to their emails. And you need to know your clients well enough to know who to email, who to text message, who to call on the phone. It's important to put this in your notes because you may not remember it years later. But during a transaction, you very clearly find out which form of communication is best for your client. So this is one of the reasons you want to know because it's one of the ways to reach out to your people. So what is the purpose of emailing? What do you email? The importance of the subject line and using emails as a great reason to call. Social media. Keep a pulse on your clients' lives. Boy, this one right here will allow you to stay in contact more than ever. I speak to my clients constantly when they have family that pass away, when they have children that graduate. You can see their child's graduation on Facebook and run over and leave a cute little gift on the front door. Social media gives us such a look into our clients' lives. It really gives us many, many reasons to call with something thoughtful. So it's very important to go to social media and have that allow you to have a close personal relationship with your clients. Before social media, we really didn't know what was going on in our clients' lives, and we just had to keep in contact with them in a meaningful way. But this really allows us to get much closer and more personal with our clients. The other thing I joke about is what we post on social media as agents. I tell agents all the time they need to be very, very careful about what they post. Now, you don't need to be careful about what you post. Everybody has the rights to live life however they like. If you're happy only selling business to half of the world, get very political in your posts because then about half the people you know will be offended by you. And I know a lot of people that have been offended in the last year by other friends of mine, and it's a complicated situation. So in my opinion, if you're going to be wise in your employment and in your work, and you are, I mean, a realtor's kind of a public figure, be super careful what you post. People, I showed up to a listing appointment last year, and when I got there, they had my Facebook page on the screen. And when I got there, they're like, oh, sorry. And they were closing their laptop. And they're like, oh, sorry, we were just checking you out. I'm like, hey, no problem. That's why I put all that on there so you can see who I am. So what you post on social media can make you look like somebody they want to do business with, or what you post on social media can make you look terrifying. So just be careful what you post, because people are looking you up. Mail, yes, snail mail. I know it's hard to believe anybody uses mail anymore. I find mail, when I receive a letter in the mail, it's very personal to me. Death in my family, and I know I got a personal card from a friend, and it meant a lot to me. So who do you mail? Really, you can mail anyone, and almost everybody I know, especially in today's world where most people don't mail. This is actually an art. And I think it's really something that can very much put you at the top of mind. And like I said, when I had a family member die last year and I got a very nice note from a friend, I felt very connected to her and I felt very listened to, and it was very encouraging. So it really reminded me that I need to put more time and money into sending cards to my clients. The anniversary on the sale of your house. This is probably one of the best, is thank you cards or just other personal notes, especially since you can see their life coming across your screen. Birthday cards, and then items of value. Chuck and Angela taught me the concept of sticking a scratcher and a card when you send it to somebody. And I've actually done it in the past, and I haven't done it in a long time. And I recently heard a woman speaking, and she sends a birthday card to every single client and puts a scratcher in there, and was talking about how her clients always call her to thank her for the scratcher ticket. And they're so excited by the scratcher ticket. So how funny that you can put something for $1 in your envelope that will make somebody in your center of influence call you. So super important to put an item of value in there once in a while. It's super encouraging to your client. Using what you mail as a reason to call. So you can't always tell your clients, hey, I just mailed you something very important. I just want to make sure that you check that, since, I know a lot of junk mail comes in. How often? I'd say at least a couple times a year. Remember earlier I said try to touch your A's 12 times a year. You try to touch your B's 6 times a year. You can use any combination of the above. So you're in those 6 for your B's or 12 for your A's. Some of them can be cards, some of them can be voicemails, some of them can be emails. So remember all of these different ways together. That's how I believe it'll keep your clients from feeling so inundated by constant ads from you. Set your mailer apart. So if you are going to send a mailer, often make them a little bigger, make them smaller, make them have a different size envelope, just anything. Handwrite the envelopes if you can, anything to make it look more personal. Personal visits. I believe this is one of the most important. I believe you should make a personal visit to almost everybody in your center of influence once a year if you can. It's a lot of work, but it's not really. Just put it in your schedule and you can drop them off flowers. You can make them toffee. You could bring them a card. There is a million different reasons you can pop by. I often do it close to Christmas, close to New Year's. When coronavirus first hit and we were locked down, I went and bought a ton of organic vegetables and dropped them off at my clients. So there's unlimited reasons that you can use to personally visit your clients. Often you're going to call them and tell them you're coming, especially if you're bringing something you don't want to leave outside their door. Say, hey, I'm going to come bring you a gift today. Is this a good time? If you're not home, can I just leave it on your doorstep? That's super important, especially if you want to make sure they're not out of town when you're leaving a gift on their front doorstep. What will you invite them to? So I know here at the forum, we have so many amazing events that Chuck and Angela provide that we get to invite them to these things for free. So normally back in the old days before Chuck and Angela came along with the forum, if you wanted to do client appreciation, you had to spend a lot of money to have something to invite people to. But Chuck and Angela have so many amazing events that really you can just go by and invite them and have them come out here and buy. Instead of spending all the money on the event, you can spend money and buy them a drink, get them a piece of pizza, and have a great personal time with them. And then they will always remember you when their friends or family go to sell a house. Using the reason to visit as a phone call. Same thing. You can call and let them know afterwards. Often after I drop something off, my clients call or text me. So it's super encouraging after I've gone and dropped off presents, getting all the messages back from my clients. So this is a really important one. During Center of Influence, while working on your Center of Influence, it's very distracting. I mean, everything in the world is coming at you. You're having emails come at you, voicemails coming at you, clients, houses with issues. So I think it is super, super important to set up your desk for success. Have your scripts printed out. We all have scripts that help us in those uncomfortable moments, help us during cold calls. So when you have your office, that was one thing that Adam taught me a long time ago, was to put my scripts up on the wall, and you can change them over time, but it will really help you when you get in a pinch and try and figure out what to say. And you have some things on the wall right there that you can grab from. Now, we've talked about Center of Influence, and remember, it's actually quite a bit of work to go to each person. And like I started with an Excel spreadsheet and I wrote down everybody's names, and then I added their emails and their phone numbers. Often I could go to Facebook and find their date of birth. I can go to tax records sometimes and find their address. Sometimes it was just easier for me to text many friends. I did this. It took me about a month. I ended up going back to my database after several years and realizing I was missing email on some people. I was missing phone numbers on some people, and it was just not a complete database. One thing I was lacking a lot was home addresses, mailing addresses. It's just something you have to go to a little more work to get. But it is super important with Center of Influence that you keep in contact with your clients from all different angles. I don't think it makes someone feel like a close friendship if their only relationship to you is a once a month newsletter, and then you feel I've communicated with them 12 times this year. But to them, it didn't feel like a relationship. So you have to make sure whatever you're doing is making it feel like a relationship to your client. So these info sheets that you need to have on your desk is because I rarely remember to collect all the information from my client if I don't have one of my information sheets on a clipboard. Then I get back to KV Core and I go to input them in my system, and I don't have their physical address, or I'm missing some piece of data. So if you will keep an information sheet on your desk, when you get somebody on the phone, you can ask everything at once. I'm sure we all hate making that second phone call, which I have to do way too often, where you can ask them all the information and then you'd have to call back and ask for one more thing. So this information sheet will make sure you collect complete information from your clients in a timely manner that's good for them. Note cards, stamps, and envelopes. I've just started to go buy more note cards. I realized some of my note cards were older and a little funkier, but now after that really moving message, I really want to send more note cards to people. And you'll just be so much more inclined to do it if they're all sitting right there at your desk when you get there. Items of values. Like I said, Chuck and Angela with their scratchers and the cards. It's only a $1. So for $3, you can get a card, a scratcher ticket, a stamp, and for $3 per person, it feels like a very personal communication. And most likely, very commonly, that communication will get you a phone call or some communication back, which if you can spend $3 and get a personal communication with someone in your Center of Influence, very well spent $3. Having a headset. So if you work in your desk and you want to be good at making phone calls or have an advantage, you definitely want to buy a headset so that when you're talking to these people, you don't have to have them on speakerphone, which may or may not be such great communication coming out of your phone. So definitely, if you can get a great headset and time block this. So one of the more important things that I've learned is that things like this will just slip out of the side and not make it into your schedule and not make it into your week and your month and the year if you don't time block and leave yourself so many minutes a day to work on your database or your KV Core. This should really be one of the most important things in your business. In fact, I think they say 96% of real estate agents do not use a database. I mean, that is just a shocking number, that 96% of people, every time they're done with a client, they don't have a system to keep in contact with that client, which means they're constantly going out and searching for new clients. Or they are having some referrals because they do get those random phone calls coming in, but those random phone calls are never going to get you to 10 million or whatever your goals are if you're just waiting for people to remember you. This is a very different process, and it very much keeps you in the forefront of everybody's mind. And in fact, me and my daughter, we started this about the same time 8 years ago when I took Angela's class. We realized it actually makes us a way better friend than we had ever been before. Really, just always remembering people's birthdays, always being considerate, always being thoughtful. So yes, it's a way to go and build any business, not just being a realtor, build any business. However, you have to be orderly in it or it just will not succeed. How to add to your list. You should be constantly building and weeding out of your database. So it's a lot of people in the beginning, I thought I was going to build a database, and I didn't realize I constantly had to be taking people out of it in order to constantly be putting people into it and having it well managed. You should be weeding people out of your database that you have not heard from. If you keep communicating with them and reaching out to them and delivering gifts, and you are not receiving a response, and they are not making it clear that they would refer you if they had a friend that wanted to sell a house, then you probably need to take them out of your database. As you close deals and prospect, your center of influence will grow. As you develop relationships with your leads, it will grow. This prospecting method should be a regular part of your business. So you should think of collecting people to put in your center of influence as one of your number one priorities for the day. And then you need to think of communicating with those people in an organized, systematic way as a very important thing at the very top of your to-do list when you're creating your schedule for the day. Statistically, you have appropriately placed a person into your database and you work it effectively. In fact, I remember when Angela first told me this, and I thought, I don't know if I believe that. I don't know if I believe that if I have a database of 400 people and I work it, I will definitely sell 400 houses a year out of them. But I tried it, I believed Angela, and I can tell you it's definitely true. So statistically, 10% of the people in your database, if you work it properly, will send you a deal a year. It's just that simple. It sounds too good to be true, and it seems like there's got to be a trick. I learned there was not. If you have 100 people and you tell them all happy birthday and you take them to coffee once a year and you are super helpful and you send them termite people when they need them and painters when they need them, when they have a friend or family that wants to buy or sell a house, they will refer you. It seems so simple. It is really simple. So that's why it's interesting that 90% of agents don't do this. Hey, can you give me the power cord? Do I have control over my own mouse?
You got it. It's on there.
How do I close that? Can you hit that? Ah, there you go. So if you are far off from this statistic, so I have met people who've told me, I have people in my database and I'm not getting business out of them. I would suggest you'd get an accountability partner or a coach to kind of go through this. Because if you have those people in your database and you're not getting business from them, most likely they're just not hearing from you consistently, or you're not thinking of it and they're not thinking of, wow, this is my friend who happens to be a realtor. So remember, this is a friend business. This is a relationship business. It's not just about selling houses. And if you live that, all the agents I know that do a great business, this is the way they handle their life. They are friends with their clients. They take care of their clients. And it's very important to them to keep in contact with their clients. While you're growing your business, so how much of your business should come from your center of influence? I hear a lot of people have a lot of different opinions about this. But while you're growing your business, 35 to 40% of your total business should come from your center of influence. That means if you close 100 deals a year, 35 to 40 of them should come from prospecting, from this prospecting source. That means that the rest of your closing should come from other methods. If you have less than 35% come from your center of influence, then you probably aren't working it well. If you have more than that percentage, then maybe you're not prospecting enough from other sources. I think this is probably one of the things that I do that I need to improve on, is I definitely put too much weight on my center of influence and need to do more outside prospecting. So remember, it's always a constant balance of these two. Remember, this is only true if you're looking for new business to grow your business, which I think most of us are. If you're content with how much business you have, then it's okay just to go with your center of influence. So there's a lot of people that are more retirement stage. They're just happy to have this center of influence and sell houses from the friends and family that want to buy or sell. But most of us are looking to build a bigger business all the time. And then you need to prospect to put people into your database. So I just want to thank you guys so much for coming to our class. I want to remind you again, this book, Miracle Morning, I know it seems like when we're talking about this, the thought is, well, gosh, how would I have enough time to do all those things? And this book will really help you have more time in your day and help you to get more done and be more successful in your business. So make sure and call me if you have any questions or email me. Thank you so much. Have a great day. Bye-bye. Hey, David, can you help me end this? Oh, it's because my mouse